Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us again on this channel where we speak truth to power and refuse to sugarcoat the realities Nigerians are facing. If you're new here, please subscribe and be part of this bold community that is committed to pushing for real change in our nation. Now, let's dive straight into today's hot topic. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has once again returned to Nigeria after yet another vacation in France, and as usual, this is trending everywhere because Nigerians are tired, Nigerians are frustrated, and Nigerians are beginning to ask some very important questions. Why is it that every time this president disappears, it's either to France, the UK, or some foreign land? Why is it that the leader of over 200 million people cannot find rest, healthcare, and comfort in the country he governs? And most importantly, why is it that while Nigerians are battling hunger, unemployment, rising cost of living, and insecurity, their president seems more comfortable abroad than in the land he swore to serve? These are not just ordinary questions. These are the soul-searching questions that reveal the kind of leadership we are under. Let's be honest, my friends. Nigeria is in a state of emergency. The price of food has skyrocketed. Fuel subsidy removal has left millions in poverty. The naira is falling every single day, and insecurity has spread like wildfire across the nation. In the midst of all this chaos, what Nigerians need is not a part-time president who shows up after enjoying luxury in Paris, but a full-time leader who feels the pains of his people, breathes their air, eats their food, and understands their struggles. But what do we have? A leader who is quick to run abroad whenever the pressure mounts at home. This is not just about Tinubu as an individual, it is about the message this sends to the ordinary Nigerian. If the man who sits at the top seat cannot find confidence in Nigeria's hospitals, if he cannot trust Nigeria's economy enough to stay back and face the storm with his people, then why should any investor, any businessman, or even any patriotic citizen believe that Nigeria has hope under his leadership? It is like a ship caught in a storm, but instead of the captain holding firmly to the wheel and assuring his passengers, the captain is constantly running away to another boat. That is what we are experiencing. And here's the painful part. While Tinubu enjoys his time in France, millions of Nigerians cannot even afford 2 square meals a day. Young people are graduating with no jobs. Farmers cannot go to their farms because of bandits. Parents cannot send their children to school because school fees have tripled. Even basic electricity is still a miracle in most communities. Yet the person elected to fix these problems spends more time abroad than with the very people who trusted him with power. How can that be leadership? Now let's reflect. What does this say about our politics? It shows us that for decades, Nigeria has been run by people who see leadership not as service, but as a personal entitlement. Leaders who view Nigeria not as their home, but as their business empire. Leaders who will happily jet out when things are tough, but return only when they need to reassert their control. This is the tragedy of our democracy, and it is why Nigerians must begin to think differently as 2027 approaches. We cannot continue to clap for leaders who abandon us. We cannot continue to defend politicians who live in comfort while we suffer in silence. It is time for Nigerians, especially the youth, to rise up and demand accountability. Ask yourself, how many more years will we keep tolerating leaders who treat Nigeria like a hotel where they check in and check out whenever they like? How many more election cycles will we allow this recycling of failed leaders to continue? But my friends, complaining alone is not enough. We need solutions. First, Nigerians must start demanding transparency. Every trip, every vacation, every foreign medical visit by any public office holder should be declared, explained, and justified to the people. If you cannot use the hospitals you built for Nigerians, then those hospitals are not good enough and you have failed. Second, we need to build a culture of civic responsibility. Voting is not just a formality, it is the most powerful weapon in the hands of citizens. We cannot sell our votes for bags of rice and expect miracles. We cannot exchange our future for short-term crumbs and then wonder why the politicians don't care about us. Third, and most importantly, the youth must organize. Social media is powerful, yes, but real change happens when online energy translates into offline action. Join political movements, engage in community development, and most of all, educate people around you. Political awareness must move beyond the educated elites. It must reach the grassroots. Only then can we break this cycle of absentee leaders and build a country where leaders stay and lead. not run away in return. Nigeria is too blessed, too rich, and too full of potential to be constantly abandoned by its own leaders. We are a nation of resilient people, hardworking men and women, and brilliant youth. But until we stop clapping for mediocrity, until we stop tolerating leaders who take us for granted, our story will remain the same. Tinubu's constant vacation should be a wake-up call that enough is enough. The next Nigeria we must build is one where leaders are held accountable, where hospitals are good enough for presidents, where roads are good enough for governors, and where schools are good enough for ministers' children. So, as we watch Tinubu step down from his aircraft after another French vacation, let us not just gossip or laugh about it. Let us reflect, let us act, and let us promise ourselves that by 2027, Nigeria will not make the same mistake again. The future belongs to us, the youth, and we cannot afford to let it slip through our fingers. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you believe Nigerians deserve better than absentee leadership, then please like this video, drop your thoughts in the comment section, and share it widely so more Nigerians can join this conversation. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more bold and truth-centered content that refuses to bow to lies or propaganda. Together we can awaken civic consciousness, challenge the old order, and create the Nigeria we all dream of.